So the processes tonight will recreate spaces and locations or networks. All of these will support the engagement and the ideas and concepts of engagement between an artist, an audience, and an artwork. Visualized are platforms that assemble crowds, platforms upon which crowds can be viewed and encouraged to act responsibly or irresponsibly, rationally or irrationally. Members on a stage with no intentions of being ironic. For all of these are actions and measures of each object's capacity to generate thought in act. So these are not artists on screen or stage appealing for your empathy. Instead, these are the mechanisms of epic theater. A theater for the extraction of virtue, a theater of exaggerated presence, a theater for collective and activated spectatorship. A theatrical presentation of the circumstances of a shared present, conducted through bodily movement, into and out through the terrain of an installation. Now, key to all these movements and procedures is the labor committed to, directed towards the completion or finality of the artwork. It's closing, the system itself closing, imposing a process or a rationalizing effect, operating through diffusion, engulfing itself in public view, in a public sphere. It is a work like a set of interhuman relations, a set of labor relations, of humor, described as the abstract value of the body, of operations and movement, of technical modes of interface. These are bodies embedded, bodies networked, bodies as machines, bodies as organic elements, some like computation, but all bodies that command spectacular attention and focus from the viewer. Because to view is also a commitment of labor. To view is an evolutionary fitness. There's a poetics of commitment, even in viewing and urging the concept of finality, applying concepts to otherwise passive and beholden spectators. Now, there was a surreal librarian who once stated that no less than death is needed for the brilliance of life to traverse and transfigure a dull existence. And this installation is the idea of a terrain for such an existence. A terrain of the installation, a space and a time consolidated, a singular world of material and life symbolically joined. The life and material of these environments are alignments and coordination of conflicting forces. Forces like antagonism and cooperation, forces of the ordinary and the everyday. These forces engaging one another through relations, which at all times, with effort, collapse upon themselves, withdrawing into brilliant but unloving encounters. They move through ideal vantage points. They explode in the consumption of all that was to claim a new joy of existence for all objects that come into the world. These are images of struggle. They're attempts to substitute for representation. They are the physical impossibility of reaching finality in the mind of someone who's living. They're the combination of organic elements, of computation, of future-oriented elements that are vital and of nature, that demonstrate with act and with accuracy the force of the natural, or a model for how humans might one day be represented. This is the total artwork, a series of actions, round, atmospheric, subterranean, through the walls, the floors, the operations, operating through all of the paradigms and spaces that shift. These are events created and composed as the whole world captured at the moment it can emerge from the uniform. This is a new use of the ready-made, the use of objects of suffering, of agony, and human concern. The exchange, the hue of human to human, the arrangement of human and machine, a literal creation of a new world, emergent, built on process, cosmogenetic, transforming operations of the everyday, filling them with sentiment, a psychic struggle composed through complex situations, always through perception and the images of thought, for what it means to be multiple, and what it means to be an individual made up of a series of these sentiments, a chain. The extension of the installation terrain into the everyday, making this possible. A theater performing the actualizing of man. The monstrous process of blending and mobilization, risk, of being driven and directed by the illusions of representation and seeking all with all through unreal actions. But these are actions that exist in nature, the perception of man. They're filtered through imaging devices. They become wholly objectified. Interactions in this performance format with the crowd. They organize into discrete units. They separate themselves from the ordinary. They create the explicit. They transform viewers into a horrid assembly. In such a theater, there is a connection, an organic life and human responsibility, a performance that generates through shock and experience, of detailed scenarios, of appearance, of future possibilities outlined by the artwork perpetuating these possibilities and ideas in flux and constant mobility, constant visibility, constant action, constant, visible, exciting, fun, transformation, a mobility as a revealing process of a world of earlier situations, the themes and objectives of nature, relating to lived realities, forms and objects and assemblies of social subjects. Artwork with human need, more than activity and more than on the wall. It's seeking out shelters for those who want rational and enlightened publics. You can think of this as a performing machine, from mind to body, from body to mind, large-scale phenomenon in a container of experience.